Most of the AI conversation in publishing stops at fear. But for authors and IP owners who have a handle on their rights, AI represents one of the most significant opportunities the publishing world has seen in a generation. And here's the thing most of the fear-based commentary misses entirely. AI isn't a threat to a well-positioned author. It's actually leverage. Now, in this final video of my AI and author rights series, we're going to look at how you should be looking at the AI versus author argument and focusing in on 3 core use cases for embracing AI as an author. The first core AI use case for authors is as a production accelerator. Drafting, editing, structuring, repurposing, the mechanical overhead of turning expertise into a finished professional book has dropped dramatically. The barrier to producing high-quality work has never been lower. For busy business owners and consultants, this matters because the biggest obstacle to writing a book has rarely been a lack of expertise. It's been time, and the gap between I know this material inside and out and I have a polished, well-scripted manuscript. Now, AI tools can help close that gap at almost every stage, turning a rough outline into a structured chapter framework, transcribing and organizing voice notes recorded between meetings, tightening prose without flattening your voice, or generating first draft material from source documents that you already have, like case studies, client work, talks that you've given, and articles that you have written. None of this replaces the expertise, the judgment, or the perspective that makes your book worth reading. What it does is remove a huge amount of the friction that used to sit between I have something valuable to say and I have a finished book that says it well. For someone whose time is genuinely the scarcest resource in their business, that's not a minor convenience. It's the difference between a book that gets written this year versus one that gets talked about for the next 3. The use case number 2 is as a marketing engine. Repurposing a book's content into articles, social posts, email sequences, lead magnets, and talks used to take an entire team, a content strategist to plan it, a writer to draft it, an editor to refine it, and someone to actually schedule and publish it all. Now, it takes a strategy and the right prompts, and a book that was already designed with this in mind. Now, this is where the production accelerator and the marketing engine connect. A book written with repurposing in mind, built around clear frameworks, distinct chapters, and self-contained ideas, gives AI tools far more to work with. A single chapter can become a 5-part email sequence, a handful of social posts, a webinar outline, and a lead magnet, each adapted for its specific format and audience without starting from scratch every time. For an author using their book to generate visibility and opportunities, this is the difference between a book that gets published once and then sits quietly on a shelf, and a book that continues generating content, conversations, and inbound interest for months, if not years afterwards. The book becomes a foundation that you can build on indefinitely, rather than a single output that you produce once. The third AI use case is as a research assistant. Validating ideas, synthesizing research, stress testing arguments, identifying gaps, AI tools can compress weeks of preparatory work into days, freeing you to focus on the parts of the process that genuinely require your expertise and judgment. In practice, this might look like using an AI to pull together a landscape of existing thinking on a topic before you write your own take on it. Not to copy that thinking, but understand where the conversation already is so that your contribution is additive rather than repetitive. It might mean stress testing an argument by having a tool generate the strongest counter arguments to your position so that you can address them head on rather than leaving obvious gaps. Or it might mean working through structural questions. Does this book need a case study chapter? Is this argument introduced too late? Does this framework hold together when applied to a different industry? Far more quickly than doing that thinking alone or relying on a single round of feedback from an editor or a beta reader. The thinking still has to be yours. AI can't replace the judgment, experience, and perspective that make your book worth reading, and it shouldn't be used to. But the legwork around that thinking, the research, the structure, the stress testing, can be dramatically faster, which means more of your limited time goes towards the parts of the book that only you can write. So here's the real reframe that I want you to sit with. And I'm going to put this as plainly as I can. This is not AI versus authors. This is authors who understand leverage versus authors who don't. An author who understands leverage has done the unglamorous work first. They know what they own. They know what their contracts actually say. And they've made deliberate decisions about where and how their work is distributed. From that foundation, AI becomes a multiplier. It accelerates production, extends the reach of their book through repurposed content, and speeds up the research and refinement that goes into everything that they create next. An author who doesn't understand leverage is in a very different position entirely. Not necessarily because they're doing anything wrong, but because they haven't yet asked the right questions. They may be using AI tools just as enthusiastically, producing just as much content and seeing real short-term results. But underneath that activity, they may not know what their existing contracts say about AI use, whether their published content could end up in someone else's training data without their knowledge, or what their actual position would be if a dispute ever arose. The activity looks the same from the outside, but the underlying exposure is completely different. The authors and thought leaders who will benefit most from this next phase of publishing aren't the ones shouting the loudest about AI at industry events. They're the ones quietly auditing their contracts, clarifying their rights, building IP strategies that account for licensing and distribution, and then using AI tools to move faster than everyone else who is still stuck arguing about whether AI technology should exist at all. The technology isn't going anywhere. Pandora's box is already open. The only question that matters is whether you're positioned to benefit from it or whether you're exposed to it. Now that we're at the end of my AI and author rights series, I want you to think strategically about your IP. If you are using your book as a serious business asset and not just a vanity project, now is the moment to get clear on 3 things. Number 1 is what rights you currently hold. Number 2 is what rights you've signed away, whether that's knowingly or otherwise. And 3, what your strategy is for licensing, distribution, and protection going forward. You can start by asking 3 very simple questions. What do I own? What have I licensed? And who has permission to use, adapt, distribute, or monetize my work? Now, this isn't about panic. It's about positioning. The authors who come out of this next phase ahead won't be the ones who shouted about AI the loudest. They'll be the ones who understood very early on exactly what they owned and exactly what that ownership was worth. I hope you have enjoyed my AI and author rights series. Next week, I'll be starting a brand new 4-part series that looks at where publishing is going in the future and what business authors need to do next. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on anything that's coming. But until then, happy publishing.